What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video recapping joint practice today between the New York Jets and Carolina Panthers. Today was, I'm going to classify it as a rocky practice. There were some good moments, but there were some also not so great moments. It was kind of up and down, and they really started slow, especially offensively, but even on the defensive side, I wouldn't necessarily say it was like this stellar day by any stretch of the imagination against a Carolina team that's really not supposed to be all that great this year. But let's start with the offense. Aaron Rodgers was 15 of 23 on the day. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. One of those interceptions, just directly off the hands of Allen Lazard. What are the Jets going to do with Allen Lazard? He is a real true head scratcher because at moments in camp this year, there's been some really good ones. He had an unbelievable catch over Sauce Gardner in practice on Tuesday, and then today has a ball go directly off his hands and to an opposing player, interception. And then there was a clear miscommunication between Rodgers and Lazard where Rodgers threw the ball way behind Allen Lazard. I would not anticipate him missing a throw by that much. It was clearly not on the same page there. And it's just like, again, I don't know what they're going to get out of this guy because some days it looks like, hey, Allen Lazard's back. He could be a functional NFL receiver. And then he has a couple dodo bird moments where the ball's going off his hands or he's dropped or runs the wrong route. It's like, what? Dude, come on. Can we get it together a little bit? Also, the Jets offensive line didn't have a particularly great day. 4 sacks given up. Now, they're not like actually sacking Aaron Rodgers, but there was things that would be obvious sacks were tracked by reporters on the beat. And, the defensive line of this Carolina Panthers team found themselves in the backfield more often than not. A positive, though, go figure, Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers were on the same page again. They were very, very good together. I think they are due for a really big season, those two guys together. Garrett Wilson spoke on the slow start to the day for the Jets offense, and he said that it's something that can't happen.
We started slow, which can't happen, but, it's going to happen. So you got to find a way to bounce back, finish strong, and I feel like we did that. I feel like we got better today.
Why did you start out slow? What was going on there?
I'm not exactly sure. We're going to go back and talk about it, figure out exactly why we started slow. But I know personally I got to, dig deep and find that and make sure that, I'm part of the reason why we're taking that, the step to having energy as soon as we come out there. I got to be one of the guys that's getting us all ready to go. And today I felt like, I was, part of the sheet, feeling sorry for myself a little bit to start, but that can't be the case. We gotta roll.
To his credit, they were a little bit better in the drive the field, which kind of the same story on Tuesday, but I thought the lows were lower today than what they were on Tuesday. And again, it's not against like the Jets number ones, what should be a really good defense this year. It's against a team that had the number 1 pick in the draft last year and probably won't be very good this year. And looking on the defensive side of the ball, this is where like the testiness came from. It was tempers flared in this practice. So Terrace Marshall Jr. caught a touchdown pass over DJ Reed and apparently like threw the ball at DJ Reed, and then a fight breaks out, and then there's a video of DJ Reed throwing the ball back at him, and that was kind of the start of things getting off the rails a little bit, which unfortunately happens in joint practices a lot. Against Washington, there were no fights. Apparently, Sauce Gardner was saying that there were some threats of punishment made, there we go, by Robert Saleh. I guess those threats did not carry over to this week because there was a little bit of a brawl. And then Michael Clemens also got into a fight with Mike Boone and was throwing punches, and it could color me surprised on that one. Just feels like there's always something going on, whether it was the Deion Dawkins thing last year, and I get it. Like, I'm not a Deion Dawkins apologist, but optics-wise, I said at the time, I still feel that way now. Optics-wise, when you're getting your doors blown off, picking a fight and going off into the locker room and trying to fight a player is not the best of looks. And then there was the thing on the bench in Cleveland last year, and now this, and it's just like This just happens a lot with Clemens. And if he had the production to go with it and was like a plus on the football field, then I think I'd feel a little bit differently. But I don't really feel that way about it at all, honestly. It's getting a little bit tiresome, and I'm not the only one on Twitter. That's kind of the consensus that I saw today, was people growing a little bit tired of the antics with Michael Clemens. Olu Fosu worked at right tackle again for the New York Jets. Had a really good pass rush or pass protection rep, I guess, at right tackle. Really impressive. And I would fully expect him to play on the right side this week in the Jets' second preseason game. He played left tackle, was a starter for the Jets last week, as Tyron Smith was not a factor in the game. But all this week he's worked on the right side. And I like that the Jets are setting him up for where he can come in on either the left or right side if there's an injury. Yes, Tyron Smith is injury prone, and Olu should be the main backup at left tackle, but he should also be the main backup at right tackle, because I think he is head and shoulders above both Carter Warren and Max Mitchell. I think how he stood up, especially in pass protection, has been really, really impressive. And I'm very, very excited about Olu Fosu. CJ Mosley was asked about Hassan Reddick, and he says, no disrespect, but it's not our focus.
Don't really have an opinion. He hasn't been here, so I mean, we haven't really talked about it as the defensive unit. It hasn't really come up on our end. We're getting ready. This whole off season, we was getting ready for training camp here. Now we're getting ready for the season. So I mean, no disrespect, but it's just something that's not really our focus, because we got to get ready for the season. So when he comes, if he comes, we're going to be here. We're going to be the same people, and you're just going to have to adjust and learn really quick on what we have to do. But if not, it just is what it is.
This is why CJ Mosley is a captain of this team and a leader on this team. I thought it was a really good answer from Mosley. The Jets have to handle business with the guys who are there, and from the players' perspective, that's the mentality that they have to have. I don't think they're holding it against Hassan Reddick. They understand what the situation is, but they just have to get themselves ready, and they can't be worrying about someone else who isn't there. So they're kind of, business as usual until Hassan Reddick gets here, and then once he does, it's about getting him up to speed. Quinnen Williams did not practice today. He had a sore shoulder, and Robert Saleh commented on why he was out.
We're not going to have Quinnen up today. He's dealing with he's got a sore shoulder, so didn't feel like it was necessary to get him rolling.
Not concerned?
No, we're not concerned. If this was a game week, we'd be rolling, but no concern.
So not really a big concern there. If it was a game, Robert Saleh said he would have played. Now, I did notice Quinnen Williams on Tuesday under the orange Gatorade tent. It was actually pointed out to me by someone who was sitting close and turned around and told me about it. But I looked across, and he was stretching and doing like push-ups kind of, and it just probably like a stinger or something like that. Again, not a concern. If it was a game, he probably would have played, but in a practice situation, he gets the day off. They go extra precautious. I would not anticipate seeing Quinnen Williams on Saturday, nor will we see probably very many starters at all. Joe Tippmann was the only starter on offense that played. I'm not sure we see him this week. He's had a good week of practice, no issues with the snaps. Guys to look for, we'll do that a little bit more tomorrow, but Olu Fosu, Will McDonald, see if Jarek Bernard-Converse and Quantez Stiggers continue to have strong days. So we'll get into all that tomorrow, but that's what happened today at Jets and Carolina Panthers joint practice. Follow me if you are new. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.